You're welcome back. Now, a 5-member committee headed by former Inspector General of Police Patrick Achampong has been commissioned on a fact-finding mission to identify the remote issues that have resulted in the ongoing conflict in Chiriponi in the northern region. The committee has up to 12th of February 2019 to submit its report to the Interior Minister Ambrose Derry. Inaugurating the committee, Mr. Derry tasked the committee to also delve into the matter and recommend solutions on how to address the conflict.
The youth organizations have also come into support, and all want peace. But they also want us to look into the matter, to investigate the matter, so that the truth will be revealed and recommendations made to enable us to have a sustainable peace moving forward. I want to acknowledge the commitment that is displayed here. I know you on both sides, and I know that the approach that we are taking now, with the blessing of Mr. President, is to make sure that we put in place a committee, a fact-finding committee, to go into the matter, to enable us not just make the peace that you are all committed to, but also to ensure that the peace is sustainable. Raised about the activities of security agencies and organizations, and I assure that under the auspices of the RESEC and the DISEC, working under the National Security Council, that these will be resolved. Yes, the damage and destruction, NABO has been directed to go immediately to the place to assess the damage. Government will do what they can to help in ameliorating the situation.
Chairman of the Northern Regional Peace Council, Reverend Philip Nama, said there was the need for dialogue to be used as a tool in resolving conflict.
Urge the fighting parties to adhere to principles of non-violence and use dialogue rather than the power of the gun to address their grievances. Although it is worthy to know that leaders of Kokombas and Anufus have already pledged to end the fight for the common good, we urge them to avoid the temptation of relapsing into overt violence. We also urge them to open up and use dialogue and mediation processes to sustainably cement their relationship. I would like to use this occasion to remind Ghanaians that the Criminal Code of Ghana has enough provisions to deal with interpersonal relationship problems, such as murder and destruction of properties. Individuals who feel offended should seek redress at the law courts rather than taking the law into their own hands.
Now, the Ghana Police Service is defending the killing of a 25-year-old banker at Teshi in Accra. Divine Akuno was on a motorbike when he was shot by the police on suspicion he was an armed robber. The police claim he snatched the handbag of a woman and attempted to flee. His brother, Gameli Akuno, however, disputes the police claim, saying his deceased brother was a decent man. The family is demanding justice for the 25-year-old. Ifwa Evans-Chenery reports.
Divine Aquino, as described by his family, was well-mannered and full of life.
He's the most humble person I've seen. Divine is not someone who will indulge in anything like that at all. If you know Divine, you know very well. Everyone everyone is taken aback by this sudden occurrence. No one has ever come here to say this. We go trace Divine back to his school in Sugar School. Nothing. Accra Polytechnic, nothing of the sort. Nothing of the sort. If there was a trend, then we could say, oh, okay. But there's no trend. There's nothing like that. So how? That is what begs the question. How?
His father, Albert Aquino, says he will not rest until justice is served.
If you found him with even something, he told you his dad is near, his house is just here. He has his car in the yard. So let us go. So you see my parents. Just about 5 houses away. And you still went ahead and do that damage. Can they bear that pain? We need justice.
This eyewitness narrates what happened.
I was coming back from nightclub that time with my brother. So when we met a lady,
Together you were with him?
With my brother. Yeah, with a lady, but I have to wait for them under the tree. Then they will go inside. So I know our neighborhood, so I decided to sit down. So after searching me, and they saw a motorbike coming around the corner, and they have to drive straight to that place. This corner, and after driving straight carefully, they started shooting. So I wanted to go and see who they shot, but they told me I should go back home.
But the police insist the young man was an armed robber. DSP Efiatenge is the Greater Accra Regional Police Public Relations Officer.
The police states that the deceased was not shot in a mistaken identity, as claimed or alleged by the family, but died through police gunshot wounds. The second suspect, who escaped, was later also arrested and will be prosecuted in due time. A search conducted on the deceased together with the one who has been arrested led to the retrieval of the lady's phone. And this lady's phone was in the pocket of the deceased together with a kitchen knife. Other items also included 5 mobile phones. And even these mobile phones, the police suspect they were also stolen or taken in similar circumstance.
Meanwhile, the man who was shot together with Divine is currently receiving treatment at the police hospital. Divine Aquino was a credit officer with Easy Microfinance Company here in Accra until his death. Ifwa Evans Chinri for JoyNews.
You're welcome back. Now, a 38-year-old woman has lost her life after she was hit by a stray bullet. The 2 others, her husband of the deceased and a 15-year-old girl, are also battling for their lives. According to the police, the taxi in which the couple were traveling in was caught in a crossfire between the police and suspected armed robbers in the early hours of Thursday at Iswechiri, a suburb of Cape Coast. Richard Kujinyakon has more.
The 38-year-old woman died after she was hit by a stray bullet Thursday morning. Her 47-year-old husband and a 15-year-old girl were also hit by stray bullets and are currently on admission at the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital. The couple were in a taxi on their way to work while the 15-year-old girl was standing by the roadside looking for a taxi to go to school. According to the police team at Chifupraso had an information while on patrol duties that a saloon car with registration number GT4523J was being used by suspected armed robbers in an operation. The police recount that the pursuit of the suspected robbers led to an exchange of fire between the police patrol team and the suspected robbers at the Iswechiri, a suburb of Cape Coast. Central Regional Police Commander DCOP Paula Winnie recounts how the 38-year-old lost her life and 2 others that are on admission currently.
From Jukwa, where they rammed into the second barrier after the Chifupraso barrier, the armed robbers started firing at the police, and then the patrol team also returned the fire. Amidst the exchanges, there was a taxi cab with registration number CR523-17 which was caught up between the police and the suspected robbery vehicle. In the process of the exchanges, a bullet hit a woman aged about 38 years, now deceased, as well as her husband, 47 years, and a schoolgirl, 15 years old, who was standing at the roadside looking for a vehicle to attend school.
Police say 2 of the suspected robbers were arrested while the third, who was holding a rifle, ran into the bush. One of the suspected robbers is also receiving treatment at the Cape Coast Teaching Hospital.
In the process, the robbers' vehicle ran into a ditch around the Ankafo junction, and 2 of the suspects succeeded in escaping, including one who was wielding an AK-47 weapon. Police arrested 2 of the suspected robbers, namely Joseph Kwanzaa, 36 years, and Daniel Ewusi, 32 years, who is also on admission.
The Inspector General of Police has, however, directed that the CID headquarters in Accra take over the investigations. The question as to whether it was a stray bullet from the police that killed the woman or the alleged bullets of the goat thieves that resulted in the fatality and the injuries remain unanswered. The family of the couple are calling for justice to be served. Richard Kwejonya-Akon, Joy News, Cape Coast.
And as Richard indicated, the IGP has ordered an investigation into this particular incident. A statement signed by Director General Public Affairs of the Ghana Police Service, Assistant Commissioner of Police David Eklu, says the IGP has directed the Criminal Investigations Department headquarters to take over the investigations of the shooting incident that led to the death of a woman and injuries to others at Ankafo Junction on 10 January 2019. A report received from the Central Regional Police Command indicates that there was a chase involving some suspected armed robbers that resulted into a shooting incident. The CID has been tasked to investigate and submit a report to the IGP in 3 weeks. The police administration assures the public, relatives of the deceased and victims that the necessary investigative procedures would be done to unravel the truth of the unfortunate incident. Now let's stay on the issue of shooting, because some bereaved families of the Manson Kwanta shooting victims are unhappy about the uniform disbursement of government's compensation package. President Akufo-Addo on Tuesday announced a 1.75 million Ghana cedi package, which gives each family 250,000 Ghana cedis. However, some of them say some families are more burdened than others, and therefore equal sharing of the money puts them at a disadvantage. We will hear shortly from some of the families, but first listen to President Akufo-Addo announcing the package in Kumasi on Tuesday.
I cannot come to Kumasi and not revisit the unfinished business of the death of 7 of our compatriots at the hands of some police personnel last year. As promised, we set up a committee to look into the matter. Based on the recommendations of the committee, I asked the Inspector General of Police to interdict the police personnel involved. Processes have been initiated that will result in the prosecution of any police person who is allegedly found to have acted outside the law. I'm happy, though, also to announce to you that a compensation package totaling 1,750,000 Ghana cedis, that is 250,000 Ghana cedis for each of the 7 families, is to be paid to the dependents of the deceased. Even though money cannot replace the life of a human being, it is being offered as a way of accepting the responsibility of the state
in this tragic affair. In the circumstances, I appeal to you to continue to exercise restraint as this sad, unfortunate matter is addressed within the confines of the law and due process.
Well, Love FM's Kwesi Deborah has been speaking to some of the families of the deceased. Here is his report.
2-year-old Mami Fafi is fast asleep. She and her 3 other siblings are keeping their mother company. Humu Abubakar is widow of the late Baba Kande. I knew of the outcome, she says. My husband is never a robber. Though the mother of 5 is happy about the package announced by the president, she believes her husband could provide more than that if he were alive. Madame Humu says an educational endowment fund will be apt for the 5 children aged between 2 and 17 years. Fathi, for instance, is 2 years and yet to start school. If there can be an educational fund, it will be good for the children. Their father is everything. Bashiru Baba Arwaz is father of Abdul Hanan. He says the compensation is another step to clear his son's name of robbery. For him, exposing the police personnel behind the killing of Hanan and his colleagues remains unconditional demand. I'm the first person in my family to bury a son. What disturbs me most is armed robbery tag. We thank the government for the investigation. As for the compensation, though we thank government, I have enough to live on.
Police commander no say army robbery.
Nazer Garden Boy is a bereaved relative executive of concerned Zongo youth. He says government should take a second look at the disbursement of the compensation money.
This is it. My brother, whose shop is where we are standing, Babankandi, is having 5 children. Frenchman, the one who works as the one who sells bread, is also having 5 children, and the wife is pregnant with the 6th child. The others, there is one guy from Bekwa who is having what, 2 children. The rest of the 4 are not having any child. So if you give a uniform compensation, it means that you are going to overburden some families. Because right now, the 5 children of Babankande, their principal interest is what? Their education.
Reporting for JoyNews, Kwesi Deborah.
Now to the story of a 26-year-old woman who was defiled by her own father at the age of 13. Although the incident greatly affected her, she did not allow the situation to quench her burning dreams. The young lady, who is now a teacher, was forced out of her parents' home to live in a shelter after she was defiled by her own father 13 years ago. She has been sharing her ordeal and how she survived on the Super Morning Show earlier Thursday.
My father, I was staying with my father when I was about 5 years old. So I grew with him. But I got to a time, started misbehaving, started abusing me sexually, physically, and mentally. I got fed up and I wanted to end my life or escape from him. But I didn't get the chance until a stepmother of mine was around. And one fateful night, my father was trying to sleep with me whilst my stepmother was there. There was a little misunderstanding, so he decided to join me on my mat to have sex with me. So I was struggling with him and thereabout, and my stepmother heard of it. And it turned into a whole lot of situation for me. The case was sent to the courts and there was nowhere for me to live. All the family members rejected me. They said what I was saying was not true. My father can't do such a thing to me. So I should find my own way to survive. But God being so good, I got a neighbor who introduced me to the ACT Foundation. They sent me to their shelter.
So just to be clear on the facts of this story, your father at the time, he was put in jail.
Yeah, he was at a cell.
So, I mean, eventually, after the court process, he was found guilty and put in jail.
No, he managed to escape.
Well, Executive Director of the ACT Foundation, Angela Dramina-Boaji, has been talking about how a shelter provided a safety net for the now 26-year-old lady.
The shelter actually started in my boys' quarters, to tell you the truth.
Okay.
So basically, before we got groups like ActionAid and some of the UN organizations and other international donors coming in, we were already trying to use the little we had to help. And then we found a place away from Accra. You know, it's a security kind of thing.
Okay.
It has to be manned 24 hours by security. We used to have police protection actually until the police said they couldn't do it because they had many other duties and they also needed some funding which we couldn't provide. So we had to find private security.
Now, a section of the National Rapid Deployment Force of the Ghana Police Service has cleared close to 100 Sudanese refugees from the UNHCR premises here in Accra. The group has been protesting for nearly 40 days against the UNHCR for its refusal to issue their refugee document and poor conditions at refugee camps in the Western region. JoyNews' Henry Kwesi-Bedu has been at the offices of the UN High Commissioner for Refugees and now reports.
In the heat of the day, some Sudanese refugees had set up camp in front of a UNHCR building protesting. Mothers, children and the old have been exposed to such harsh weather conditions for nearly a month and a half. On Thursday, police dispersed the refugees from the UNHCR premises. However, the refugees refused to leave until their demands were met. But some misunderstanding ensued as the police attempted to force the refugees onto the bus.
What are you doing?
Commander-in-charge of a National Rapid Deployment Force, Superintendent Al-Mayal Karase Abbas, explained the Sudanese refugees were causing a nuisance and needed to be dispersed. According to him, the Ghana Refugee Board and the UNHCR petitioned the IGP to facilitate the process of dispersion.
The Ghana Refugee Board wrote to the Inspector General of Police regarding the unauthorized residence of some refugees from Sudan. And subsequently, they came here, they were here, that is on the 26th November, since 26th November, they have been here, causing nuisance and posing security threat. As you can see, we have the American Peace Corps located very close to us here, and then this Kuwait Embassy, which is also another vital installation, a lot of residents around here. And these Sudanese refugees, numbering almost about 40 to 50, are here, some of them sleeping on the streets, making some demands including shelter, food, health, among others. They petition, and as you can see, the UNHCR representative spoke to them that they have assistance that they can offer, but they cannot meet all their challenges. However, there's a designated place for them at Christian camp That's the refugee camp in the western region.
Meanwhile, philanthropist Madiya Awudu Agona has been helping the refugees during their camping at the UNHCR grounds.
I go and bring food for them. Some of them are taking them to the hospital. They are pregnant women. Many things. Even yesterday, they come to my house. I take them to the hospital. So I used to bring them food, soap, everything they will need. I used to bring them because I have some group in Europe. I talk to them, they send me money and helping me to help these people because of the children and the women are here.
The Sudanese refugees have agreed to relocate to the Christian village camp in the western region, although their demands were not met. Henry Kwesibedu's report for Joy News.
Tomorrow, from me and the rest of the team, this is where we call it a wrap. Have a good night.
This is Joy News Prime.